Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mark, aka Christ169, coming to you with a special upload, a two-part live stream video, State of Gaming. I was going to do this in March, but since it's only this 15th, and I always do it a little early anyway, before beginning of March. Always try to do it beginning of March, but I always try to do it a little early because sometimes I have to upload these, and it takes time to upload and edit them. So I want to do a live stream, like I do live stream now with this. So that's why I'm doing a live stream. Today is Saturday, February 15th. I know I do this every quarter, but every few months I'll do a state of gaming. I try to do it every quarter or close to every quarter. I did one in January. I did one in March. It's quarter 3 months. This is kind of a little early, but whatever. It's my channel, my state of gaming. I do what I want with it. This state of gaming is going to be about the consoles and PC issues going on, and what the hell is going on with these two damn entities, platforms. Tonight's gonna be about consoles, PS5, Xbox. I'm put it in here. PS5, um, hashtag Xbox, Xbox, and Switch. Switch. The Switch. You have an idea what I'm talking about, what I'm doing. You have an idea what's going on. So you won't be thinking what the hell am I talking about. So you have an idea of the description down below. Now, if you follow my channel before I get meat and potatoes of it, I like to say thank you guys for 182 subscribers. Thank all of you guys. But if you are, there's about 90% of you who watch my channel who come by here and who are not subscribed. Hit that subscribe button as you come by and watch it. It helps the channel a lot, helps me grow a lot. Even if I get 300, 200, 300 subscribers, that's all I get. I'm happy with 180, but let's see how far I can go. 182, right? See how far I can go, right? I want to make sure I push the boundary, the possibilities of this channel. Much I was told by a YouTuber a long time ago, as long as you keep going and keep pushing videos, you will grow, and I've grown a lot, and it's all because of you guys. I thank all you guys for that. Now, that being said, though, now it's time to talk very serious about the situation. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Um, so if it's available, you'll know. Now it's time to get into the state of gaming, part one. The consoles to me are probably the biggest blunder of all blunders. I say that because it's just one of those things that I'm not really seeing the need to own a console. The pros of a console are, it's simplistic. You take it home, plug it in, and you play it. That is the layman's terms. But the cons of a console is you're held down by the ecosystem and the hardware of that console. Where I'll talk about the pros and cons of PC gaming. The pros and cons, the con of PC gaming, a little small side note, is that the graphics card issues. When new ones come out, everybody, including scalpers, are jumping on them, and you have to fight through everybody, including scalpers, to try to find one. And you might want the latest and greatest, you can't get latest and greatest, and that's a sad thing. But with consoles, you don't have latest and greatest. Technology is already obsolete as it's announced. When the Xbox X series was announced, it was always obsolete. Had 2080 Super, 2080 something, 28, 27, 2080 Super, 28, 2070s. We were already approaching the 30, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And the AMD already had the 6000 coming out. So the consoles were already, gimped. Get one. And I put Switch in here, but Switch is not really a, a console in the sense that they're one of the big three, but they're not the big main three. The big three to me are PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. The Switch, and I have one behind me, is a hybrid type of system. The handheld is a console. It's a little bit of both, and that much more. When Switch 2 comes out this year, later next year, whenever it comes out, that could change the game. it could make it no one of the four. Um, but it's a console, so it's one of the three. But one of the main platforms, it's like when it's curved, it's like this. It's like a second cousin half removed. It's like a cousin, but it's like a cousin, second cousin removed. It's there. You might buy it over sometimes, but is it really part of the family? And I hate saying that because if you are a second cousin removed, you feel kind of jaded right now. And it ain't my intention to jade you. My intention is to make sure that you guys understand that the Nintendo Switch itself is a hybrid console, and they're never ever going to compete with Sony and Microsoft. And they said that point of view, so I don't count them as a console in traditional sense. They're console for your nostalgia. You break out the Mario, you break out the new Mario Odyssey, you break out the new Zelda, you break out the new Metroid. Those games are for Nintendo, and that's in a sense why I call it the island of itself. And that's why Nintendo to me it's always been the island of itself. And it's never going to change that, and that's fine. But going back to it now, the pros and cons of a console are the pros are yes, it's plug and play and you have an ecosystem. The cons is the ecosystem charges you monthly or yearly t- to use the basic internet that you pay for. The servers are free. And prime example, when PlayStation Network went down last weekend for a whole day, guess what I was doing? Held Hours 2 PC, I was playing it. I was dropping in. I tried God of War. It worked fine. I tried even single player games had trouble connecting. And state of gaming, I'm gonna get into this a little deeper into this video, but single player games should not have to be required to log in, check in at any time to play the damn game. If you own the damn game, if you download to your console, if you own it, if you download it digitally or download it because you don't, you insert the disc and you bought it at GameStop, Walmart, and insert your company you buy it here from, you should be able to play the game offline. Now, some Steam games I know require internet. I know some Steam games will probably be offline. Um, I played offline mode, held average 2, I was fine. I was sick last week, so I played some games offline. Mostly just pet around on some free to play games where you just wanted to be bothered. And I just because I had the flu and stuff, and I was feeling better, but I was still kind of kind of thing. So I think that's why I wasn't online that much, or I was online, but I wasn't online. If you're playing Helldivers 2, you probably saw me on there. But if you didn't know I was on there, you wouldn't know I was on there because I had myself offline in shadow. Same with my Xbox. Let's watch Star Trek: Next Generation on not Peacock, but a Paramount Plus. I let it just run, through the first 3 or 4 seasons. As I was sleeping. 'Cause I had the flu. I was out for like 10, 12 hours a night. So, uh, but with the consoles themselves, the state of gaming to me tells me that the consoles are losing a lot of credibility with a lot of gamers. A lot of gamers are realizing that they're paying all this money, or adults are, or the parents, the kids are realizing they're paying all this money, and there's really nothing to show for it. And they really had nothing to show for it, except a bunch of problems in the end, except a bunch of issues that they can't explain. When PlayStation Network went down, I was playing Helldivers 2. I was playing, God of War Ragnarok. Even though the games are digitally on my system, I could still play them. But when people had disc-based PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 disc-based Pro, and they pop in the game, and it says cannot authenticate disc license agreement, single player game, mind you, like Cyberpunk or God of War or Spider-Man 2. What's the point of owning disc-based game? And I will do a physical versus digital, state of gaming eventually down the line, probably later this year. I'll do a state of gaming, digital. Is it really does it matter that physical anymore? Because this kind of proves the point with the PlayStation Network going down last week. It's been down. It was down for 24 hours. It was last Friday, and it came back up Saturday. And I was still playing Helldivers 2 just fine on PC with no issues whatsoever. So me personally, I didn't have an issue with it because I'm a PC gamer, so why should I care, right? But I do have a problem with it when when a disc-based single-player game like say Helldivers 2 or Red Dead 2, for example, does not will allow you to launch the game. Now maybe Red Dead 2 would launch it, maybe, because it's not owned by Microsoft. Not owned by Microsoft, but Sony. And so maybe Cyberpunk. Comment below if you guys have a PlayStation who are floating by my channel. If you have a PlayStation 5, you try to play those non-PlayStation games, did it work off your disc? Or did it tell you you didn't have a license agreement to play it? Because if that's the case, then what the hell's the point of having a disc-based anything if the games are if the game if your game cartridge or your game disc is no more than just an unlock key code to unlock the game anyway. If your game is no more than just that spitting disc is just no more than a key code or a key card to unlock the game, what's the point of buying it physically when it goes offline and you can't play in this single player game? And this has happened multiple times last weekend. People talked about this. People talked about it and discussed it. And Sony ponies were jumping at the damn seams, freaking out about how how it's unfair to criticize Sony, and they're making excuses for Sony, bending over, opening up their brown eyes because they didn't want to talk against Master Sony. But yet they'll criticize Xbox and PC all day long. No, no Monday through Saturday and twice on Sunday. They'll criticize PC, but when you criticize Master PlayStation, Sony, oh my God, now you're treading too far on. You're out of line then. And to me, that seems just kind of wonky to me that we have that we have people here in this gaming community who are fighting us every step of the way. They fight you, they fight me, they fight all of us because they want to shove their head up the rear end of the gaming community overlord masters. It says, hey, this is wrong here. What these guys are saying is right. I don't agree with them, but I don't like the fact that I can't play a single player based game on my disc off my PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 5 Slim or PS5 Standard because it wants me to authenticate the PlayStation game that I bought for $70 at Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, and straight straight your store of choice here. Um, and that kind of bothers me because it makes me wonder, well, what the hell are these people doing? Then what are these people really doing? What are these companies hiding? Because people couldn't play, and then they turn around and they give you 5 days of plus that you already have 5 days of plus. No, they shouldn't just give you five. They should just give you a damn game or a refund of a game that you're trying to play but couldn't play because it was a disc-based game that was single player. You couldn't play it because the damn thing requires a license agreement to unlock the key code to play the game, even though it's a single player game. And I said this guy back in 2015. And we won the war. We won the battle with Microsoft, but we lost the war with the developers. I said back then, we won the war, we won the battle, but we lost the World War. And we lost the war because now we have people out there now who are literally pushing buttons on PlayStation Network, locking them up, and the games don't work because you have a license agreement to play a single player game. Helldivers 2, Battlefield, Call of Duty, and whatever, I get that. But you're not playing Helldivers 2 when you're trying to play God of War. So what's the point of owning a disc-based system if all they're going to do is just punish you for owning disc-based single player game if you can't play it anyway because it requires a license agreement every time you turn the thing on? That right there is something that kind of makes no sense to me. If they did it within 24-hour authentication, if you play the game, okay, and 24 hours later, they, hey, you have to authenticate this disk. You should have the key code, the key pass code already downloaded in your hard drive or SSD to run the game anyway. Now, I didn't like the PS3 cell, stuff configuration. It was very hard to program for, and you have to download every game and install every game. But even when a game, even PlayStation Network was offline, it was a lot. It was free back then. PlayStation Network was free back then, or offline a lot. But you didn't have to worry about playing your single player Killzone 3 with authentication. Yeah, granted, you couldn't play online or get any of the cosmetics that you probably got for free if you bought the game at GameStop pre-order or whatever. And that's fine. But if you're buying a game that is solely requiring you to, to be online anyway, in a single player game like Spider-Man 2, for example, then what's the point? Make the game online where people can come and go out of your game, as is in Spider-Man can come and go out of your game, or you can have crossplay. Now, if it was online only because it required crossplay, not crossplay, but online multiplayer, and it had an issue because maybe it wasn't, it glitched or whatever, and it couldn't work. Okay, fine, I get that. No, offline mode, you can play the game fine. But Spider-Man 2 doesn't have online split screen or online co-op play to play as Miles or Peter, the single player based game. So offline mode should not be required anyway because it should not be online anyway. But once again, here we go. And going to the Xbox side, the games that they bought all these, they bought all these developers, and they're now finally utilizing them for something. They're finally utilizing them for something. They're finally trying to utilize the developers that they spent over close to $100 billion on, these studios, to finally make games for them. But where was all their worrying then? Where was all their worrying at? Where was all their, you know, um, sticking the guns? When Doom came out, when they bought Bethesda and they ported Doom Eternal over, and they had an issue where you kept sticking on the ground and on the Game Pass version, and even on the game when you played it on Doom on PC, you kept sticking where you couldn't move. That was a glitch that the game had on PC that took over almost a year and a half to finally get it updated fixed. But yet Microsoft just kept releasing games on PC, porting them over of Bethesda and Wolfenstein, and the great games, all of them. But you also have to understand too. You also have to know your PC counterpart. It took about a couple years for Microsoft to know the PC gamer is not inclined to use Game Pass unless it benefits them. That's why Game Pass Ultimate PC is so good. You get a lot more stuff on it than you ever could do. I still have it. I got two cards right in front of me. I haven't used yet. 1 month and then two 1 months. Why is that? It's because of the fact that I don't sit there and I don't use my console anymore for much games that may feed friend because it's not available on PC. If it was, I wouldn't play it at all. And also Battlefield 5 I have it on there too. Battlefield 5 I have on my Xbox One X. But but it doesn't mean that the Game Pass Ultimate is the greatest thing ever because it's taking away sales from their from their company that they bought. And they turn around and gotta sit there and lay off all these people. Now after they make a couple $1 billion off profits. They closed down these studios in Redfall, and you granted now they brought the companies back, Redfall and something High Fly Rush. They brought those games back, but they closed the studios down, created a new studio, and put those things in there. So it's like, okay, so you closed down a studio that had made these two great popular games, not really not Redfall that much, but High Fly Rush is a popular game, and you just neutered the game by canceling it. Then you brought it back, and you wonder why people are like, I don't know if I'm really going to support Microsoft. Look at the Xbox sales. They haven't sold Xboxes in a while, folks. You can go tell Dave and Buster's has an older version of the Xbox S series. The 1 terabyte S is still being sold in Walmart. I mean, in PS5 Pro, PS5 is still being sold, and the Pro is just sitting there. So both companies have issues when it comes to their hardware not moving. More so Microsoft and Sony. But Microsoft put everything on them to put everything on everything. They put everything on everything. They put Game Pass on TV refrigerators and damn freaking shower TVs. If they could, you'd be in there taking a crap playing Halo. I don't know what they think you'd be doing. That's kind of weird. Wash your hands, obviously, and sanitize your controller. But I mean, I get it. Microsoft wants to be everywhere, but being everywhere has consequences and has costs. The cost is you're taking a console division and you're scaring the hell out of them. If you think about it, you're scaring the hell out of your console division because they don't know they're going to have jobs, next year. Because if they get, I mean, Microsoft, you know what? We're going to release this set-top box called Xbox that has a 2 terabyte hard drive, 4 terabyte, a 4 terabyte SSD that plays everything you want to play. It has a 6600 XT or 6800 XT or 60 whatever hundred or Ryzen 37. You mean Ryzen, but a Ryzen, 3600X or 5800X for the processor, and it has a 3090 in there, 3080 in there. No, in a 3070, equivalent with maybe 12 gigabytes of VRAM and maybe 16 to 20, I mean 16 to 32 gigabytes of RAM, different models. It's a set top box you buy. It says Xbox on it with a controller. That's all you have now. You can stream or download games to your SSD. That is your Xbox with a small little, processor and small little GPU in there, and that is it. And that's going to happen. And point at that point, then you can go buy a gaming rig. So I think Microsoft is just going to try to get rid of their Xbox division or make it a lot less relevant. But then again, they're making hundreds of millions of dollars a year on on Windows alone. Probably billions of dollars a year on Windows alone. Think about it. Every gaming rig, every company that makes a computer puts Windows on there. Why is that? Because Windows is a more vastly used operating system when Linux is not. Um, but in closing, guys, part one, we discussed the pros and cons of console gaming. Tomorrow, we're going to discuss pros and cons of PC gaming and go in depth with the whole CPU issue, power supply issue, 50 series issue, 40 series issue, 30 series scalping issue. We're going to go into all of that tomorrow with PC gaming. But I thank you guys watching my video. Please like, subscribe, notification, ring that bell. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.